in these shadow tones. So I'm going to go back here. This should have a little bit of blue, maybe a little bit of green, but not that much. So I'm going to add some red back in. That looks better to me. Because I mean, this should probably be a little yellow actually. This sunlight here. It should be a little warm. I think that's better. Original. Yeah, okay. Next node, looking at contrast. So just using the old contrast knob here, I'm just going to lower the contrast. So dark down here. Let me see my histogram. I just want to see what the histogram looks like here. Interesting. So let's see if I were to do something with the curves. I feel like these curves are on like a HDR scale or something. Interesting. Okay. I feel like that looks way better. All right, let's go to my next node. Now the one thing is I need to raise the top up just a smidge more. There we go. Okay. Next node is saturation. Blue is pretty oversaturated. The sky is pretty oversaturated. So I'm going to take the lift down just a smidge, but I'm just going to basically mess with the... I'm going to use the gamma as a saturation knob. So I'm just going to turn the gamma down. Yep. Increase saturation on the top end. Increase it on the bottom end. But take it down in the middle. Take it down some more in the middle. Oh, that's too much. So that, we'll say that that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look and see how this compares for the rest of this scene. So we're going to hit next clip. And pretty low con on these guys. But it's looking not bad really for... For the rest of these shots. We can do a little bit to fix that shot in particular. I don't know, looking kind of crushy on those, doesn't it? Top down a little. Okay. Next node, enable, balance the color. All right, her jacket basically should be black. We see it's very red, so I still need to bring the red out of the bottom end. Okay, there we go. It's better. The white needs more red in it. Okay. Pretty white. A little more blue in there. I'm not correct. There's, the top end is just too much in the top. I know there's detail there. A little less red. Yeah. All right, that's all looking decent. Next node, turn the contrast back on. I'm going to turn the contrast back up just a smidge, just because I lost my whites and my blacks. I got something crushing out over here. Little something right here, barely kissing the top. It looks like it's maybe a highlight on this car, like these highlights in this car right here. Hard to say. There it is, yeah. There's something in there. Let's take the top up some more. Bring the middle down some more. I'll add some of that contrast back. And that already looks 1,000 times better, right? Yeah. I have to do some interesting things to this shot, I think. I think mainly just need to turn the exposure up. There we go. Solves most of the problems there. Don't worry about these hot spots. We'll get those fixed. Right now we're just balancing. Alright, everything still looks pretty, which would be just the green channel is what we're doing here. So I want my bottom end kind of left alone, and then bring some saturation back in the top. Let's go back to looking at that plaid shirt at the beginning of this. Yeah, see, I just kind of added back in all the saturation that I took out. So let's take this bottom end out again. Just me, or is this doing the opposite of what I want it to do? It's taking all the color out of this, which is in the middle. I want to take it out, maybe not that much. Really, I just want to take out this this deep red here. Just the same way here, I just want to take out this deep blue is just too saturated. I don't really want to take any blue out of that. So let's reset our curves here. And let's go to this clip. That's very natural. That looks good. Now let's look at Sam. I just feel like I'm losing some color out of her hair, like in this top end. That's in that shirt. That's good. If I go here, I'm still getting that deep blue knocked out. Let's look here. Yeah, things that are overly saturated here are getting knocked down just a little bit. All right. Okay, I'm happy with this. This is pretty good. So now let's go on to the clip level. And now what we will do is we will fix all of our individual clips so that they all sort of work along with this scene. Okay. So this particular clip, and let's see, I've got a whole kill my scopes now offset, I think. No, that's log wheels. I'm going to go to my HDR wheels, because now I can dial in with the HDR wheels. I can dial in sort of specific exposures at very specific luma values. So I'm going to start with the shadow, which is my middle ring here. I'm just going to work on the exposure there. I'm just going to bring the exposure up in my shadows. I'm going to bring it like way up. That actually is not bad. And I'm going to bring the light down a little. And I'm going to take my dark down. So this is how I come into it, and this is what it looks like now. Way better. Way better. That's what I was trying to do before. Okay, perfect. So now contrast, I don't feel that I need to do as much for the contrast. One thing I could do is do some global exposure here. Just kind of pull the whole thing down just a smidge. And does it move? I feel like it moves or something. What just happened? Oh, this is the yeah. So yeah, I have this effect shot on top of the shot, so that's what you're looking at right now is the effect shot. What is the input transform? Probably should be, let's try this first. Yeah, there we go. And so the problem is, let's go to the previous clip, next clip. Yeah. The problem is I need to do all of this. So let's see, let me right click and see. Well, this is in the correct group. So I just need the, oh, you know what? It looks like it has different color. And I'm going to select this clip and I'm going to disable it. And now I can go back to my color page. Yeah, and now it doesn't show up in my timeline. Okay, great. Because part of me wonders, can't I get rid of that quickly, easily? I think that I can in Fusion. I know Noah has already done this one, but he's going to have to re-output it anyway, so I'm not going to mess with it right now. But okay, that's looking good. So we're going at a clip by clip level here. So we're going to go to the next shot. Just need to do some exposure stuff to this peculiar node. Oh, okay. So I'm on my primaries. I'm on clip exposure, and I'm just going to bring my lift way down. I'm going to bring my gain way up. I'm just going to kind of keep going back and forth. Whoops. Hang on. It's all stretched out here. All right, so this is the shot as it comes in. This is the shot as we have it now. Still not perfect, but getting there. All right. A little balance, a little more red in the top end. A little less red in the bottom end. Everything else is looking okay. I need to take the bottom saturation out here. So let's make sure that this is an HSV node, as it should be, with channels 1 and 3 turned off, channel 1 off, channel 3 off. Looking at just the green channel here. Taking the saturation down a little bit here. Take the saturation out of that grass a little. Yep, I think that's working. This could do less as well. Just don't see it's doing a whole lot. Yeah, it's doing a little bit. It's actually taking down some of the contrast also. Okay, so pretty well matched. All right, this shot's looking decent. Let's append our node graph here. And I'm going to go back to my HDR wheels. I'm going to go over one click. And I'm going to bring my lights down. So I'm still getting the Y area exposure is still going up. But I take the lights down. Yeah. All right. I don't hate that. On her face here. And just kind of get it tight in there. Maybe even a little smaller. Something like this. And then I can just, in this window, I can do some things. So like I'll go back to my regular wheels here. I'll just bring my gamma down just a little. Take out some of the yellow. There we go. Now that'll need to be tracked. And I can do that by, one second. Control buttons, add window, shift down tracks the active window in both directions. So shift down, add window, will track that window backward and forward. Yep. That's okay. So what we'll do is we'll go to where it kind of is making some sense. So it's pretty good right there. So let's just move it just a smidge there to set a keyframe. And then we'll come back here. All right, and now we'll just make a little adjustment here. Okay, something like that. And now I want to keep tracking backwards with it. So let's go here. And again, I'm on this frame level, so we'll just move it a smidge, and that'll set a keyframe there. Let's go past where her hair is out of the way there. And we'll just do a little turn and here, and now we'll track in reverse some more. There we go. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. Let's stop the track again. Come back, come back, come back. All right. So this was good. And now from this frame, let's track back again. And now, yeah, now it's staying with her a little better there. Excellent. And pops over there because we did not delete these keyframes, which I'm sure that we can do. I'm sure there's a very easy, great way to do that. I think though I just want to go from here and just track back. Yep. There we go. That was easier. Okay. And so now I've got that following her face, and it's just darkening her face just a little bit, just which I think is a thing you can do. about up here in the color window? There you go. Apply grade from 2 clips prior. Shift minus. And boom, there we go. And now we still have that same clip face, and looks like it has the window with none of the tracking information, which is cool. So we're just going to start at the beginning, and we're going to put the window on her. And even though it's not totally centered on her face, like the far side of her face is fine. I'm just trying to darken these highlights in the sun. All right, there's a place where obviously we need to fix that. So let's go back here. I'm gonna, oh no, I'm gonna undo that. Okay, put this back on clip level. I'm just gonna make this just a smidge bigger. There we go. All right, now we're gonna go back on, when actually it should stay on her face right here. So now let's see how well that stays in there. Yeah, that needs to come down. In fact, let's go from here and track forward. And append node graph. And delete that useless node. And we'll clean up the node graph. And let's see. Let's go to our exposure. We're on our primary color wheels. And I think I'll just bring my lift down. Bring my gain up a little. My gamma, I mean. Looks like we got too much red in the bottom end. And this will be for Max's jacket. And we'll go to our qualifiers here, and we will select that. And you can see already how red it is. And I just want to see what my highlight looks like. So I'm going to turn that on by doing what? Highlight. Perfect. Okay, so getting there. Okay. And so now what am I going to do with this jacket? So I'll turn the highlight off. I want to darken it. So I'm going to take my lift down. I'm going to take my gamma down. And I can take the gain down just a smidge. But mainly what I want to do is I want to desaturate it. So I can just use my saturation knob. Would be the easiest thing to do, I guess. Because it just should be... But oh, and I would just want to take the red out. So let's just take it towards... Take it towards cyan green, especially in the bottom end. Okay. So that's good until Bonnie moves in front of her there. So let's go to the last good frame, which is... Let's start at the beginning because I've got too much other stuff in there. I just want the jacket. Alright, so let's track forward again on the jacket. Alright, we'll stop there. Come back to where it's... And then back. Okay, let's just check in between. Great. That works. All right, let's go back to the opening of the shot here. And I think actually, let's go to the middle. I want to do a little bit with Mandy's face here. So we're going to do clip face. We're going to add a window. And I'm going to shrink it down. And I want it to be on her face. I want to get it like, yep. All right. I probably will change that, but it's a good starting place. And so now let's track that to her face. Okay, looks like it stays there the rest of the scene. Now we're tracking backwards as she comes in. Oh, it catches that. Let me track back from there, see what it holds on to. That's much better, much better. Okay. All right, that's looking good. All right, next shot here, we're going to append this node graph. We're going to delete the empty node that we had in there. Clean up the node graph. And let's see, this is really bright, but let's see where we go with it. All right, so now then all we need is just to bring sort of our exposure in the middle up. So I'm actually going to do log wheels on this one. So I'm going to go to my log wheels and do just the middle. And maybe take the bottom back down. And when I do that, you can see it's like some tearing or something happening here. And you can see in the scopes that it's super crushed down there. So let me actually just reset. And let me go just regular wheels here. And let me lift it off the bottom. Very different. It's very different. This is like overwhelmingly blue to me. Go to my balance here. I'm just going to warm it up a smidge. All right, let's go back here and go to the end of this shot. It's dark. Let's look and see where on the scopes sort of everything is. That definitely is better for this, which is kind of what we're looking at, even though it's not in focus. This is sort of the point of the shot, is seeing over her shoulder at these guys. But we just start the scene so hot here. So I can go into HDR, I can go into curves. Let's look at curves. All right, so I'm on my exposure node, and on my curves, I'm going to my Y only, my levels only, and I want to keep everything. Oh, how did that happen? There we go. All right, I just feel like I'm losing detail out of this, but let's go to these HDR wheels and deal with it there. So let's check the highlights down. Yes, these HDR wheels, I tell you, can work some magic. Isn't this so much better? So here's where it was coming into the scene, and this is what it looks like now. How much better does that look? And then we can go to the next node, and we can up the contrast just a little. Just going to bring a little contrast back. So ABBA still there, and it's going to add it right there. And so now I can go back to this shot here, and I can play that still. And I've got a wiping thing that I can do. And I think, what is it, Option W, that'll flip it? Yeah, there we go. And so now I can get them closer in color, in value, in contrast. And, you know, they're not as far apart as I thought, honestly. So I need to warm up the top end. So let's go to the clip balance. And I just want to warm up the top end a little more and warm up the HDR wheels here. And I'll bring the light down and the... I mean, it's getting real close. I need to go back to my regular wheels for the color. That's why I wasn't getting any color. It's too much there. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh, no, dadgummit. Redo that. I meant to do my color over here. Okay. I'm going to go back to my exposure and just take my gamma down just a little. It's actually looking pretty close now. Go back to my window, my image wipe tool here. Turn the contrast down some. And I'm going to turn some of the detail down here. Alright, haven't done anything here yet. So let's go back to our node tree and we'll append this node graph. We'll delete the empty node and then we'll do a cleanup. Close our scopes here, get those out of the way. And this is really just a shot on Gwen, which looks okay there in the shadows. But she's in this bright spot for a big part of it. So I think what I want to do is go to my exposure node, go to my HDR wheels, and then just bring down my highlights and my light. Maybe bring up the shadow just a smidge. Still looks okay. I'm going to go back to just our regular wheels here. Bring our gamma up a little. Bring our lift off the bottom just a smidge. Our gain up just a hair. Let's go back to the hot zone here and go back to our HDR wheels. Bring those bright zones down.